Previously on Pocket Sand. Kill me. Hey everyone, Pocket Sand here, bringing you the second installment of my Ragnarok Online series on Revenant RO. While editing my last video, I watched all my friends make progress while I was feeling like I was falling behind. I started breaking out my editing sessions with Zerum runs, sold all my junk and bad rolled panties to buy more hunting bows, praying for a better random roll. I also picked up a Dex Survivor rod for my priest, along with a second one to try to get a decent roll on it. To save Zenny on Agi and Bless, I parked my priest right on the Zerum map. This meant I have to go back to my priest to refresh buffs every 5 minutes, but I try to time it with my sitting SP breaks. Around the 2000 kill mark, I decide to stop gambling and drop 150,000 Zenny and 3 hunting coins on hunting insurance to guarantee my drop by another 2,500 kills. It paid off eventually, securing both Zerum cards. With those cards in Kafra, it's time to hunt some actual gear. I dove deeper into Payon Cave, hitting level 3 to hunt Munax for that 1% drop rate on slotted shoes. I mixed it up by going to level 4 to kill Sohis for another 1% drop rate on slotted mufflers. I cherry-picked daily hunting quests for quick Zenny to sustain my insurance habit. I ran through Izzes in Pyramid 4, carrots on the top center of Glassheim, and headed back to Sphinx level 2 for more Zerums. Even if this one wasn't worth very much, but I just wanted a chance for another card. For the last daily, I mentioned it on Discord, and some of my friends would come to join me. Chloe on his blacksmith, Loli on her hunter, and me playing my hunter and priest both simultaneously. We completely overkilled the kill count, turning that quick daily into an impromptu leveling party at Enolians, which are 3 maps west of Komodo. Later, Tuber generously hooked me up with a free Apple of Archer. And Tuber, also being an absolute homie, hooked me up with some hunting bows so I could reroll mine to a final decent stat, becoming pretty much my sugar daddy. Next, I took my priest to Sphinx level 4 to try Turn on Dead on Anubis. They are tough and they hit hard with 700 damage auto attacks. This made me realize that I'm not quite ready for it yet. Kay invited my priest to party with his fresh sniper at Geffen Dungeon 4. Now I know what you're thinking. Pocket Sand, Geffen only has 3 floors. Well, on Revenant Elegy, they added a completely custom floor 4. We were clearing Dark Priests and mutated White Knights. I'd weave in Turn on Dead on the Dark Priests whenever I had a spare second between keeping up buffs, heals, and Gloria, since the extra 30 luck from Gloria really helps Kay's Falcon DPS. Later on, Llama would join us to provide bard songs, boosting our attack speed and lowering our cast time. Kay took fully advantage of the buffs and absolutely shredded the mobs, but completely obliterating his own SP pool in the process. I managed to get 4 levels and hit level 74 from that session alone. After the party broke up, I shifted focus to leveling my new merchant character to take over the vending duties from my current vendor, Sandsmart. My long-term plan for this character is to turn her into a potion brewer. I completed the training, sold my stuff, and this time was able to afford the merchant test. I even got a new quest location in Prontera's training area. Went to Milando to complete the quests there for starter gear, and even hit up the dungeon until I was level 24, when I figured it would be better experience at Wolves. Eventually, I needed a few more job levels, so I used my priest to tank soils for my merchant. This absolutely sucked. Without tank gear, the soils hit incredibly hard, draining my SP entirely on heals. To make matters worse, my merchant lacked the hit rate required to land consistent blows and was using a terrible dagger. I threw in the towel at job 30, giving up on maxing enlarge weight limit for now. I was back to Payon Cave for some more shoes and mufflers. Once I had a solid stack of them, it was time to farm the cards to slot into them. I headed to Glassheim Chivalry Floor 1, located in the middle left of the map, to go after a Raedric card. A Raedric card is crucial for defense since it reduces neutral property damage by 20%, and all monsters' auto attacks in this game are considered neutral. I got some incredible luck and saw the card drop after just 263 kills. I slotted into a decently rolled muffler and safely upgraded to +4. With my new defense gear, I went after a Madier card for my shoes. I picked Pyramid's Floor 4 because it has an open layout and shares the best spawn rate with Sphinx level 2. After about 600 kills, or 2,648 total kills on the counter, the Madier card was finally mine. I rerolled a few pairs of shoes till I got a mediocre stat roll, slotted the card, and safely refined them to +4 for the extra defense. To wrap up the gear loop, I used my insurance on slotted gloves from Stings. They give 1 dex and are currently the best accessories for my Zerum cards, so I'll eventually going to need a pair of them. The catch is that you have to be level 90 to wear them, so this is strictly endgame gear. I camped there for a while with 0 luck. The next morning, I woke up early to party with Kay, Chloe, and Blaze XD. We were completing the daily hunting quests together as a group. But first, I had to run around Amatsu to complete the Amatsu dungeon quest, to cure the king's mother from a curse. A feature on this server is that you can teleport on floor 1, bypassing most of the maze. Once inside Amatsu Floor 3, we hunted Tengu for the daily quests. We wandered around as a pack, killing everything in sight except the MVP. The game actually dropped my first Tengu card. It went to another party member because the party was on share, which was totally fine since it was a meh card anyways. From there, we cleared out stalactite golems north of Komodo, hit up Anolians, 3 maps east of Komodo, and ended our tour at Ice Dungeon level 2 killing Snowers. Once we wrapped up our hunting dailies, I went back to Glassheim for more stings. When I ran out of flywings, would head back to town, unload my loot, restock, and go right back to farming stings until I got bored. That's when I decided I would level Sandsmart into an alchemist. I would take her to Soils and tank Soils again on my priest, but with a Raedric and Madier card, it was much easier. I would then, at job 40, take her to Aldebaran to complete the alchemist's job change test. This test is annoying to me because first I needed to bring 100 mini furnaces and pay 50,000 zenny. I emailed myself some zenny and bought them from Christopher in the bottom right of Geffen, handed them over. Next is the academic test with Rasputin. Well, sites like RateMyServer.net has answer keys. Revenant Elegy uses multiple custom test pools. My strategy was just to intentionally fail the test a few times until I rolled the specific question set that matched my cheat sheet. On to Darwin's part, which is to bring him supplies to make 1 red potion, 1 yellow potion, and 1 white potion. I would do this and answer his questions on how to make the potions from my memory, as the answers weren't on the Rate My Server cheat sheet. Next, moving to Van Helmont, for where I would need to start the mixture quest to complete his part, which had me going around Alberta to start the quest, then going to Geffen to follow the quest until I talked to Morgenstein. Once I completed this, I would go back to Aldebaran to answer Van Helmont's questions. Then I would go ahead and move on to the last part of the test, where Nicholas wanted me to deliver some items to people in Uno, which required me buying another 5 mini furnaces. Once delivered, I was sent to the Master Alchemist to officially change classes. Back at Soils, I unlocked Acid Terror. On this server, Acid Terror is heavily modified, so it doesn't consume acid bottles. Plus, it changes my attack to my weapon's element, uses percent damage cards, and has its damage buff. The skill is a blast to use. My damage was currently low because my terrible weapon and lack of strength, but the casting time was great. I grabbed my platinum skills at the Prontera pub and moved to Alligators for the repeatable kill quest. Borrowing Chloe's Alinolian dagger with 2 Drainier cards to pump up my DPS. Once completing the 150 Alligator kill quest, this pushed my base level to 62. Now knowing how fun Acid Terror is, I realize I'm going to need to make another Alchemist in the future so I can enjoy it some more once I have some gears. I've already decided this character is going to be a pure brewer build, so I reset her stats, dumping every single point into Dex and Luck, rendering her completely incapable of leveling herself. To level her, I was going to leech her on my priest at Sphinx level 4 against Anubis. The experience is good, but relying on turn undead is a total gamble if it instant kills or does a tiny bit of damage. The success rate scales on int and luck. I find you don't need a ton of luck since you won't be reaching 100% success rate anyways, so I'll dump that into Vit just to be able to survive a bit more. That being said, the Anubis Sonic Blow will absolutely one-shot me still. I am still going to need a shield with a card, whether that be a Therafrog card to resist Demi-Human, or a Hodremlin card to resist everything, to be able to survive the Sonic Blows. Once I got bored, I went back to Stings for one last run before calling it a night. I had no luck getting a glove. The next day, I tackled my dailies again. While hunting Tengu, I managed to get a second card to drop. After completing that, I realized I was almost out of wind arrows, so I went to farm Rough Winds at Windghosts in the middle left of Glastheim. They didn't yield much, so I moved to the Grand Picos map, since they drop Wind of Venturis more frequently, but broke down into less arrows than Rough Winds. I went back to do my dailies at Snowers in Ice Dungeon, then Anolians, and then lastly back to Stalactic Golems. This time I would mob them and kill them with Claymore Traps, which completely bypasses their massive defense. Before getting very far, Kay and Tuber invited me to an MVP instance party. On this server, it features a custom instance system where you can gather specific materials for each boss, and you can spawn an MVP on your own private map, but it has the cons of reduced drop rates and a 3-day cooldown. We summoned Frioni and made incredibly quick work out of him. After that, we farmed up some Dragon Tails to trigger an Egda instance, and melted him down too. Tuber had to log off after that, so I went back to Stalactic Golems and relearned how to Claymore Trap, as it's been a long time since I've done it last. Turning in my dailies, I then did a Stings run with no luck, and finally finishing the night leeching my Alchemists at Anubis. That's going to do it for now. I got some major cards this episode and completed more than I thought I would. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. In the next video, we're going to get right back to those stings and finally get those gloves, and keep working on upgrading the rest of our kit. Hope to see you then. Okay, thanks, bye.